Hello fellow stampers, this is Yana Smakula. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will show you how to make colorful birthday cards and will teach you how to do selective masking to dress up your outline images with other images from your stash. Let's get started. I have several images from the Birthdays Take the Cake stamp set already positioned in my Mini Misty stamping tool, a birthday cake, a cake stand, and a cherry. I'm stamping those onto white cardstock using alcohol marker friendly ink, and I will color these images using my Copic markers to add color. I will be needing more than one cherry for my card, so I'm stamping additional images onto the panel. I picked several Copic markers for my coloring, and I'm starting with a BG45 and BG11 to color the cake stand. You will later see me change my mind a bit in terms of color and use other marker colors for the cake, especially, and also some other colors for the cake stand as well. Now, I've also used the same colors to color the candles on the cake. And I'm going for simple coloring, using just two markers here, a lighter and a darker one. A Y17 marker was used to color the flame on the candles. Next, I used the RV34 and RV00 markers to color the frosting. I later also used RV21 and RV00 to color the frosting on the other cakes that I made for my cards. R39 color was used as a dark red to color cherries and R24 as a light red. I also used YG03 and YG01 to color the leaves on the cherries. Now, I first colored the cake teal, but later decided it would look better colored dark blue. So I used B39 and B97 markers to color it deep dark blue color. The reason I decided to go with a darker color is because I wanted to add some white heat embossing over it. And had I kept it light blue, or that light teal color, the embossing would have been lost on the finished image. I forgot to mention this, but I used coordinating dies to cut these images out in my die cutting machine. There are dies for every image in this set, even that little cherry, which is very convenient. I love when there are dies for everything in my sets. Next, I pulled out my masking paper and created a reverse mask for the cake. I stamped the cake image on the paper, but instead of cutting the cake out, I cut out a rectangle, a rough rectangle, with the cake on it, and next I bent the paper slightly and made the cut into the body of the cake, cutting it away. This created a mask that masked everything but the dark blue cake section. I treated my cake die cut with anti-static powder. Next, I applied the mask over the image and placed it onto my Mini Misty stamping tool. I looked through my stash for a small floral image that I could use to embellish the cake. I came across the stunning Fantasy Florals set and decided to use a small section of this set to embellish the cake. I positioned the stamp over the image the way that I liked the most. Next, I closed the lid of my Misty tool, picked up the image, inked it up with clear embossing ink, and stamped that onto the cake. This is what I like to call selective masking technique, although I'm pretty sure there's a better name for it. I removed the mask and covered my image with white embossing powder. I used detail embossing powder here and heat set it with my heat tool to melt the powder. This completely changed the look of the cake and made it a bit more festive, if you will. I love all of these modern cakes with all sorts of decorations on them, and I think that is what inspired this idea. Next, I pulled out my white Sakura pen and started adding fun details to my cake. First, I added dashed lines to the candles. This added a little bit of character to them. I added white highlights to the frosting. It doesn't really show much on camera because the frosting is colored light pink, but it still adds a nice touch to the finished piece. I also colored the tiny leaves in using the white pen, making them solid white, and added lines to the big leaves, adding some unexpected interest. With the cake colored, I cut a panel of white cardstock to about 2.5 by 4 inches, and then I stamped a sentiment over it in black Copic marker friendly ink that reads, "Have a sweet birthday." I used the same marker colors as before, the BG45 and BG11, to color the letters, and I added a darker color towards the bottom of the letters and a lighter color towards the top. I added a light gray cardstock mat to my sentiment panel and set it aside. To create a background for this card, I decided to utilize cardstock scraps from my stash. I cut a bunch of cardstock strips about 1/2 inch wide, and I adhered those to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch panels using glue, creating very colorful backgrounds. It's such an easy way to make a background, yet it is super fun. You can play with colors and use all sorts of different colors from your stash. You can go in a rainbow order or have an ombre background. There are quite a lot of options for making colorful straight stripe backgrounds like this. You can have horizontal or vertical stripes, or even have stripes going diagonally on your cards. With the paper strips adhered, just use your trimmer or scissors to cut any excess off, and you have yourself fun and colorful card background. Next, I used foam tape and foam mounted the sentiment panel onto the diagonal stripe background, and then I foam mounted the cake onto the panel using foam squares. I love the little cherry in this stamp set. It's so cute. I added a bunch of cherries onto the cake and also 2 cherries above the sentiment to dress it up a bit. I made several cards using this concept. I really couldn't stop at just one, and had I had more time, I probably would have made lots more. I think it's such a fun and easy birthday card idea to make. Here's a look at all of the cards that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video and will give this idea a try. If you do, please share online and tag us on social media. We always love seeing what you guys are making. Subscribe now and do hit that bell icon not to miss any new card making tutorials. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. I'll see you next time.